Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are live from Crandall High School, where your New Diana Eagles will be taking on the Bridgeport Bulls. Bridgeport is a 4A school from up north of Eagles coming to the ball game 8-4-1 on the 8-5-1 on the season, and will be the home team today. Eagles are coming off a very gritty victory Tuesday night against the Harmony Eagles, 7-6 in 7 innings. Jacob Newland will be the starter for New Diana today on the mound. Keaton Bogues behind the plate. Infield is, as it typically is, Elliott Foreman over at first. Second base is Hayden Thomas. Shortstop Logan Simmons. Third baseman Austin Kearns. Left field Levi Green. Center field Cole Sherman. And in right field today is going to be the lefty Ivan Benoit, as Peyton Brewer is our DH. Leading it off for Bridgeport, it's going to be number 3, Siler Green. Green plays left field and fouls that one down the third base line. No balls and a strike. As you can probably hear, it's fairly windy here at Crandall High School. Winds averaging about 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts to 35. As that's going to be lifted out into center field, Cole Sherman moves over to his right, makes the grab for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the Bulls shortstop, Ephraim Donovan. Donovan wears number 10 for Bridgeport. Bridgeport's colors are maroon and gray. They have maroon jerseys with Bulls written across the front in maroon, gray pants, gray long pants, as that one's going to be fouled back. No balls and a strike on Donovan as Newland quickly works ahead. Last time we saw Newland pitch was against Central Heights in the Oil Belt tournament when he and Cole Sherman combined for a 2-hit shutout, 1-0. As Donovan takes high to even the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, top of the first, just getting underway. Eagle defense is playing straight away. Donovan not able to check his swing there. Good curveball by Newland. It was in the dirt, kind of bounced it in there, but Donovan took a cut at it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes as Newland kicks, fires. It's going to be a fastball in the dirt. And tie the count back up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crandall High School has an all-turf field. That Newland pitch is going to be outside as well. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Crandall Pirates have a logo very similar to Carthage. Have the same C, except it's yellow instead of red. That's going to be a fastball at the knees for strike 3. Looked on. So Donovan will take a seat, and that'll bring up the catcher, Damon. We're going to call it Puckiko. That is probably not right, so we'll just stick with Damon. Newland's first pitch to him is going to be spiked in the ground. 1-0. Damon does wear number 13 for the Bulls. It's going to be 2-0. Newland, a little bit to collect himself here, kind of get dialed in. It's going to be the 3rd straight ball that's in the dirt, 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. I'm sure Damon here will make Newland throw a strike as he goes to the back of the mound, collects himself, takes his glove off, now puts it back on and steps back on top. The 3-0. Fastball down the middle, strike 1. See if Newland can come all the way back here and set the Bulls down 3 up, 3 down. Stamon's back in. The 3-1. Ball 4 outside. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up the DH, Slade Hinkey. We're going to have a courtesy runner come out for the catcher, Damon. So with the perfect game out of the question, maybe Newland will be able to settle down here and settle in and throw some strikes. First pitch is going to be low. Good block by Bogue. 1-0. Hinkey is number 16 for the Bulls. Long look here by Newland. It'll be a fastball, 1-1. 2 outs, top of the first. Runner on first base, courtesy of a 2-out walk. Newland on the mound. It's going to be fouled. Ahead in the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're 315 feet down the lines here at Crandall. Lots and lots of room in foul territory. The dugouts are on both sides, first base and third base side are both set back well from the edge of the stands as Newland throws over to Foreman, but courtesy runner's back in time. Looks like the courtesy runner is going to be number 2, Tyler Anglin. The 1-2. Runner takes off. Bogue throws down. Oh, safe. Just under the tag. Was a good throw by Bogue. Just a touch high, but Anglin's able to get his foot in there. So was called a ball, so it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes now. On Hinkey. Looks like they're going to call Newland for a balk here. As the umpire goes out to have a word with him, let him know exactly what he's done. So the Bulls have the first base runner to reach third base, 90 feet away from scoring the first run of the ball game. The 2-2, low and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The 3-2. In the dirt, ball 4. So Newland finds himself in a little bit of trouble here. Walking 2 hitters this inning. As the Bulls have runners on the corners, Bogue steps out in front of home plate, gives the signals to the defense. Brings up the left fielder, Carson Green. As Newland asks for a new baseball, the umpire obliges. First pitch, cut on and missed. Strike 1. Stick with the fastball, kid. Stick with the fastball until they hit it. Establish it. Let's go. No balls, 1 strike. It's going to be high. Got a back pick attempt. Safe. Got just back in time there. Good throw by Bogue. One ball, 1 strike. Newland comes set. Long look at third base. The 1-1. It's going to be flown out to right field. Benoit coming in. It's going to be close to the line. Drop just foul. That ball hung up in the air for quite a long time, but both Benoit and Foreman giving chase fell just in no man's land over there in foul territory. So 1 ball, 2 strikes as you count. That's going to be strike 3 on the corner. So Newland will strike out 2 in the inning, walk a couple, but leave them stranded. Going to the bottom of the first, your score, Bridgeport 0, New Diana, coming up. Bottom of the first inning, your score, Bridgeport 0, New Diana coming up to bat. Newland walked a couple in the top half of the inning, but with a couple of strikeouts and a fly out to center, got out of it with no runs allowed. Leading off for New Diana will be senior second baseman Hayden Thomas. On the mound for the Bridgeport Bulls is number 8, Cole Holly, as Thomas takes a Holly off-speed pitch inside for ball 1. Holly throws from the left side. Looks like a fairly tall young man, probably stands 6 foot, 6'1". The 1-0 is going to be hit with a slow roller out to second base. Second baseman fields it. It's going to bobble it for the first error of the ball game, as Thomas will be on E4. That'll bring up the Eagle shortstop, number 4, Logan Simmons. Coach Martinez relays the signs from third base. Simmons steps into the box as Thomas takes his lead. Going to be a hard hit ground ball, stabbed by the third baseman. Does get up, make a strong throw to first to retire Simmons. Thomas will move over to second base on the ground out. That'll bring up the pitcher, Jacob Newland. Holly's velocity is, I'd say, probably low 60s, I guess. Newland goes through his pre-bat routine, steps into the box. Looking to get Thomas moved over to third at the very least, as the first baseman will play in on the grass. Newland takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, as we're here in the bottom of the first inning. Scoreless ball game. Eagles do have a runner on second after Hayden Thomas reached on an error to lead the ball game off. Simmons moved him over with a hard shot to third base, hard ground out to third base. The 0-1 is going to be hit just past the shortstop out into center field. Simmons is going to be given the stop sign, and the ball will be cut off by the first baseman behind the pitcher's mound. So the Eagles have runners at the corners with their cleanup hitter, third baseman Austin Kearns, stepping in. Kearns leads, says we're going to have a courtesy runner for Newland over at first. Looks like Trent Pepper will come out and run. Kearns leads all New Diana hitters with 21 RBIs so far this year. Up in another RBI situation here. With one out, bottom of the first, Eagles with runners at the corners. Holly checks first. Slide step. Runner, Trent Pepper takes off. Ball's going to be hit shallow to center field. Simmons is not going to be able to tag. That'll be the second out of the inning as Kearns flies out to center field. That'll bring up the Eagle first baseman, Elliott Foreman. Foreman comes into the ballgame hitting over 400, highest average on the team. In an RBI spot here. First pitch from Holly. It's going to be lined out into right field. That's going to fall. Simmons will score. Pepper rounds second, headed to third. Foreman takes a big turn at first base, but retreats back. So that's a two-out RBI single for Elliott Foreman. Young man stays hot. As Thomas plates the first run of the ball game. That'll bring up the center fielder, Cole Sherman. Holly's first pitch to Sherman is going to be cut on and missed. Strike one. It was Sherman's hit that eventually scored the winning run in Tuesday night's ball game when Hayden Thomas had the walk-off bunt. As Sherman takes high, ball one, 1-1. Sherman came up in the seventh inning, bottom of the seventh, with one out and doubled high off the wall in left field to give the Eagles a scoring opportunity. The 1-1. It's going to be fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Eagles lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first, courtesy of a 2-out RBI single by Elliott Foreman. As Sherman sits on that, but it's going to fly it out to right center field. Center fielder moves over and makes a little jumping catch for the final out. But the Eagles score 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, 2 men left. Going to the top of the second inning, your score, New Diana 1, Bridgeport 0. Top of the second inning, New Diana leads Bridgeport 1-0 after Eagles scratched across a run in the bottom half of the last. As Jacob Newland comes out after a 23-pitch first inning, got into a little bit of trouble, walking a couple of hitters. Starts the center fielder, Casey Green, out, ball 1. That's going to be a ground ball just over Newland's glove. Thomas fields it, flips to first. Called safe. So that'll be the first hit for Bridgeport. As it was just a chopper, Newland jumped from the mound. It was just to the second base side of the mound, went just over his glove, but Thomas charged hard, made a throw, but Green was able to beat it out. So that's going to bring up the first baseman, Nick Lorne. Newland's first pitch is Lawrence squares to bunt. It's going to be a ground ball to Newland. Fires to second. It's going to throw it into center field. Sorry, Thomas backed it up. So just all out of sorts here. It's going to be an E1. So Newland goes behind the mound, tries to collect himself. One man on, or two men on. One on first, one on second. After an infield single and an error. And the first baseman, Craig Anderson, at bat for the Bulls. Anderson squares, takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. As Foreman will play in the grass play into the grass from first. Kearns will be even with the bag at third. Newland shakes the first sign and the second sign. Now comes set. Checks the runner at second. The 0-1 squares again. It's going to be in the dirt. Becoming a common theme here. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. The 1-1 squares again, misses off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 is going to be bunted down the third baseline. Kearns is going to field it, not have a play. As it was bunted hard enough down the third baseline that Newland wasn't able to field it. And by the time Kearns realized it to go to first, it ended up being another infield single. So the Bulls will have the bases loaded with nobody out. And their number 9 hitter, the second baseman, Mason McComas. Newland in desperate need of a strikeout here. First pitch to McComas is going to bounce all the way to the screen. Fortunately, it's going to hit the backstop, and the runner from third's not going to be able to get home. So 1 ball, no strikes. As Newland tries to get off the struggle bus here. The base is loaded, nobody out. The 1-0. There's a fastball at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. One is going to be a ground ball. It's going to be booted out at shortstop as it looked like it might have glanced off the umpire. I'm not sure. So it'll officially go down as an infield hit, as it did hit the umpire. Newland confirmed out there. So that'll be the third hit for the Bulls this inning, as they've tied the game 1-1 and still have the bases loaded and have yet to get the ball out of the infield. It's a fastball down the middle to the leadoff hitter, right fielder, Siler Green. Green flew out to center field his first time. The 0-1 misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. At the knees for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still looking for the first out of the inning. As the bases are loaded here in the top of the second. 1-1 is now your score. It's going to be lifted foul over the first base dugout. Seems to be the MO for Eagles pitching here the last few games. Newland has his sign, comes set. The 1-2. It's going to be an off-speed pitch taken high for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, bases loaded. Newland steps off. Reset. The 2-2. Misses low and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Some of these pitches have been pretty good, but the Bridgeport Bulls are not offering at the changeup there. So that pitch is going to be fouled straight back. They're not offering at the same changeup that Central Heights struggled so mightily against. So with nowhere to put him, we'll have the payoff pitch. The 3-2. Fortunately, cut on ball 4 there and fouled it back. Strikes. Nobody out. Newland licks his hand several times. Now toes the rubber and looks in. Comes set. Fastball fouled back again. Good at bat here by Green. This will be the 10th pitch at the at bat. The 3-2. It's going to be lined out into right center field. That's going to be in the gap. Fall for a hit. Sherman bounces off his knee. It goes to the wall. Green's going to go all the way to, going to be held up at second base as they hold the runner at third. So that'll be a double for Siler Green, a 2 RBI double at that. As 2 Bulls come in to score, and now lead the Eagles 3-1. It brings up the shortstop, Ephraim Donovan, as we're going to have a mound visit from Coach Martinez. Coach Martinez talks to his senior and now heads back to the dugout. Eagles are in their Navy pinstripes with the Vegas Gold hats. Of course, have the Navy socks with the Vegas Gold stripes on them. First pitch to Donovan. It's going to be cut on, fouled back to the screen, 0-1. The 0-1. A curveball is going to miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Excuse me, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. It's going to be a ball as the ball dribbles just behind Bogue. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 misses. 3-1. Newland in danger of loading them up here. Still don't have an out in the top of the second, as Bridgeport leads New Diana 3-1. It's going to be a ground ball to the third baseman. Austin Kearns is going to have the runner from third in a rundown. Simmons has it, tags him, so they will get the lead runner, as they're going to say that the runner jumped out of the baseline. So that'll be the first out of the inning. And keep a running run from scoring, as Mason McComas is tagged out. And Donovan will reach on the fielder's choice. That'll bring up the catcher, Damon. Damon walked his first time, was left stranded at third. As Newland spikes another changeup outside. Good stop there by Bogue to keep it from going to the screen. 1 ball, no strikes. One out, top of the second. Bulls lead New Diana 3-1 as they've scored 3 runs this inning. As the batter calls time. The 1-0. It's going to be popped out into right field. Benoit coming on. Thomas moving out. Going to fall in between them and bounce. That'll be the 4th hit of the inning for the Bulls, and the first one to reach the outfield. So the bases will be loaded, as the runners had to hold up there to see if Thomas or Benoit were going to be able to catch that. Imagine that ball's moving around quite a bit in this gusty wind. That'll bring out the Bulls' DH, Slade Hinkie. Hinkie walked and was left stranded at first his first time. Newland kicks high, fires low. Ball 1. 1-0. 1 out, top 2. Bases are full of Bulls. Bridgeport already leads 3-1. The 1-0. It's going to be high, but lined down the third base line for strike 1. Newland set to deliver the 1-1. That ball's going to be flown out to right field. Benoit giving chase. It's going to fall in fair territory. So Newland going to get touched up again here for just a single. Ended up being a long single, as the ball was hit pretty deep out there, probably 290 feet, fell just about 5 feet inside the line. And the Bulls lead 4-1. First pitch from Newland's low, as Carson Green bats as the 9th man in the lineup for the Bulls. Excuse me, the 9th man to come to the plate this inning. He bats number 5. 1 ball, no strikes. There's a cut on and miss. Fastball evens it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. One out here in the top of the second. As the batter calls time, Newland will step off. The 1-1. It's going to be a fastball down the middle at the knees, taken for strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Green went down looking his last time to end the top half of the last inning. Newland has a long look in, comes set, checks the runner at third, kicks, fires. In the dirt, ball 2. Newland giving the young Bogue a workout back there behind home plate. The 2-2. Misses. Ball 3. These really haven't been close either, folks. It's not like we're missing by just a ball or two. It's significant. The 3-2. Ball 4. We'll see if we're going to have a pitching change. We need to do something here. As Coach Martinez will make a mound visit, and that'll do it for Jacob Newland. So we'll be back with you and once we know who the new pitcher is. New pitcher for Diana will be the right fielder, number 14, Ivan Benoit. And that'll force several defensive changes as Newland will move over to third, Kearns to short, Simmons to center, and Sherman, I believe, will go to right field. As Benoit is going to inherit all 3 of Newland's base runners. So we'll give you the final line on Newland once we are able. As Bo goes out to talk to Benoit. So, Eagles in a little bit of a bind here as they put up 5 runs this inning so far on 5 hits. As Benoit gets ahead immediately. No balls and a strike on that cut and miss. Kason Green is the hitter. Had a single earlier this inning and scored a run. It's going to miss low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 comes in high. 2 balls and a strike. It's going to be an off-speed pitch cut on for strike 2. Even it up 2-2. It's going to be ball 3 in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bases loaded, top of the second, 1 out. Bulls lead 5-1. It's going to be tipped into the glove of Bogue. Bogue quickly fires down to first as Benoit comes in and gets the strikeout of Green for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, Nick Larn. So the Eagle defense will play back now with 2 outs. It's going to be a slow tapper to the first base dugout, 0-1. The 0-1 in the dirt, good block by Bogue. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's Benoit trying to get the Eagles out of it. The 1-1. It's going to be skied out to left field, down the line, but foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Benoit with the 1-2. Lined, diving catch by Jacob Newland for the out. But not before the Bulls score 5 runs on 5 hits, leave 3 men on base, 1 error in the inning. Going to the bottom of the second, Eagles have some work to do. Trail 5-1. Peyton Brewer will lead the Eagles off here in the bottom of the second inning. New Diana trails 5-1. Trail the Bridgeport Bulls as Cole Holly begins his second inning of work. Starts Brewer inside, ball 1, 1-0. Brewer takes a strike on the outside corner. He'll even it up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Final line on Newland: pitched 1 1/3 innings, 58 pitches, faced 14 Bull hitters. Struck out 2, walked 3, gave up 5 hits and 5 earned runs as Brewer's going to sink or deep in the hole to short. Shortstop comes up firing, but nothing doing. So Peyton Brewer with an infield single. We'll get the leadoff man on here for New Diana. That'll bring up the pitcher, Ivan Benoit. Holly's first pitch is in there, strike one. The 0-1. It's going to be grounded out to the second baseman. Bobbles it just for a second, but does get Benoit by a step. As Brewer moves down to second base. And with one out, that'll bring up the left fielder, Levi Green. As the first baseman for the Bulls will play in on the grass. Third baseman's even with the bag. As Green takes ball one outside, 1-0. The 1-0. Green's going to lift that one. It's going to fall. It's going to be in the gap out in right center field. Going to go all the way to the wall as Green rounds first, headed to second. Brewer will score easily, and that'll be a one-out double for Levi Green. Excellent piece of hitting there by the freshman. Be a one-out RBI double. As that'll take us back to the top of the order with Hayden Thomas. Thomas reached on an error and scored the first Eagle run back in the last inning. First pitch from Holly is going to be popped just out of play. No balls and a strike. As the relentless wind continues to blow this year. The 0-1. It's going to catch the inside corner for strike two. No balls, two strikes. It's Thomas looking to get the runner to move to third base. It's cut on and missed for strike three. As Thomas is set down for the second out of the inning, they bring up the shortstop. They bring up the center fielder, Logan Simmons. Simmons grounded out to the third baseman his last time. Bats here with Green on second base, two outs, bottom of the second. New Diana trails Bridgeport 5-2. After the Eagles scored one last inning, and courtesy of the one-out double by Levi Green, have scored another one this inning. As Simmons gets a piece of that and fouls it back to the screen, no balls and a strike. The 0-1. Going to be popped out into center field. Center fielder moves over to his right, makes the grab for the final out of the inning. If the Eagles do get one back, courtesy of that RBI double by Levi Green, going to the top of the third, your score, Bridgeport 5, New Diana 2. New Diana trails Bridgeport 5-2 here in the top of the third inning. The Bulls are going to be led off by their first baseman, Craig Anderson. Anderson singled and scored a run in the marathon inning, in the marathon top of the second inning, where the Bulls put up 5 runs. First pitch from Benoit is cut on and missed, strike one. The 0-1. Cut on and missed, strike two. No balls and 2 strikes to the Bull first baseman. Benoit from the wind. Cut on and missed, strike 3. So Benoit sets Anderson down on 3 consecutive pitches for the first out at the top of the third. Take us to the second baseman, Mason McComas. Maybe McCormick. Benoit's first pitch. Low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. As the second baseman bats here in the top of the third. That's cut on and missed, strike 1. Even it up, 1-1. Benoit is painting that outside corner consistently here in this inning. That's going to be lifted out into left field. Be a 1-out single as the ball drops in front of Levi Green. That'll take the Bulls back to the top of their lineup with right fielder Siler Green. Have 3 greens in the lineup for Bridgeport. Siler, Kaysen, and Carson all start with C's as Siler files that one back. No balls and a strike. Sadly, I can't see well enough to tell if they're triplets or not. Could just be cousins, I guess. Runner takes his lead. Benoit with the 0-1. Misses high, ball 1. The 1-1. Fouled at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. Cut on and missed, strike 3. That'll be 2 outs here in the top of the third as New Diana trails 5-2. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Ephraim Dunavant. Dunavant reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run in the last inning. Went down on strikes his first time. Benoit starts him with a ball. 1-0. The 1-0. Right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike now. 2 outs. Benoit kicks and fires. It's going to be ground ball out to the shortstop, Austin Kearns. Fields it, fires over to Foreman at first. And that will retire the Bulls in the top of the third inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. Going to the bottom of the third, your score, Bridgeport 5, New Diana 2. The bottom of the third inning. New Diana is going to be led off by the third baseman, Jacob Newland. Who is also the starting pitcher today. We have a new pitcher on the mound for Bridgeport. It's going to be the DH. Number 16, Slade Hinkie. So Hinkie will now be DHing for himself. As a final line on Cole Hawley, as he pitched 2 innings, 23 pitches, faced 11 Eagle hitters, K'd 1, walked 0. As Newland takes a ball low and away, 1-0. Allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, and 1 earned. The 1-0. It's going to be strike 1 at the knees. Even it up, 1 ball and 1 strike. As the third baseman plays in on the grass at third. Middle infield's back on the outfield grass. First baseman's even with the bag. Outfield straight away as Newland cuts and is going to foul that one back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now on Jacob Newland. Newland trying to get on here. The Eagles trail 5-2 here in the bottom of the third. The 1-2 is going to be in the dirt. Go back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bulls lead 5-2, courtesy of the 5-run second inning. They did have 5 hits in that inning. The 2-2 in the dirt, ball 3. So Hinkie's 3-2 on Newland. As Newland adjusts his batting gloves, spits on his hand, rubs them on his pants, slaps them together. Full count. Hinkie comes set, steps, fires. Going to be a ground ball out to the shortstop. Shortstop fields it, fires over to first to retire Newland for the first out of the inning. Going to bring up the Eagle shortstop now, Austin Kearns. As he moved to shortstop when Newland moved to third and Simmons moved to center, Sherman to right, and Benoit came in to pitch. First pitch is a ball. 1-0. Is going to be turned on and ripped near the third base dugout. That'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. It's going to be an off-speed pitch. It's going to miss outside. 2 balls and a strike. This wind is from the north. That will blow out to the outfield here at Crandall High School. As Kearns is going to hit that one deep. Center fielder moving back, turning around. It's gone. Solo shot for Austin Kearns. 3rd home run of the year, as he was able to elevate that ball up into the jet stream and carried it out over the 360-foot sign in center field. That'll bring up the first baseman, Elliott Foreman. Good piece of hitting there by Kearns. 5-3 is now your score here in the bottom of the third. As Foreman takes a strike, 0-1. It's going to be a curveball. It's going to catch the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No balls and 2 strikes. I want to point out here at Crandall High School is it's 315 down the lines with about a 6-foot fence. Out in center field is the 10-foot fence as that one's going to be in the left center field gap. Go all the way to the wall as Foreman will round first. Digs into second base with a one-out double. 2 for 2 on the day. As Foreman stays hot. That'll bring up the center fielder, Cole Sherman. Sherman flew out to center field his first time. As the Eagles are clawing their way back into this ball game. Hinkey's first pitch to Sherman. It's going to miss off the inside half, ball 1. Eagles have been able to score runs this year when they needed to. They've been the comeback team. As that's going to miss well inside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Eagles have found themselves in several games this year where they'll dig a hole and have to come back, but they've been managed to do it most of the time. As a second baseman will now hold Foreman on, as that fastball is going to catch the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. On the junior right fielder. The 2-1. Hit hard. It's going to be a single out into left field. That'll get Foreman moved over to third base as the throw comes in, cut off by the shortstop. Third hit of the inning for the Eagles. As the DH, Peyton Brewer, will step up. Brewer's 1 for 1 at an infield single and scored a run his last time. Bats here with Sherman on first, Foreman on third, 1 out, bottom of the third. Eagles trail 5-3. As Brewer takes high, ball 1. As Sherman takes off, it's going to be a strike on the outside corner, no throw by the catcher. That'll be 1 ball, 1 strike as Sherman steals second base. Brewer now has 2 men in scoring position. Could tie the game with 1 swing of the bat. The 1-1. That's going to be lifted out into left field. Fall for a single. As Sherman will hold up at third, Foreman will score easily. So that'll be an RBI single for Peyton Brewer. As that is the 4th consecutive hit for the Eagles. As the pitcher, Ivan Benoit, will step in. Benoit grounded out to the second baseman his last time. Takes low for ball 1. We'll have timeout by the catcher. He'll go out and talk to Hinkey, or Hinkey will talk to his catcher, one or the other. Bottom of the third inning, New Diana now trails 5-4 as they have scored 2 runs, threatening for more here with runners on the corners and only 1 out. First baseman holds a runner on at first. Third baseman plays even with the bag. As Benoit cuts and misses, strike 1. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Middle infield will play at double play depth up the middle. The 1-1. Runner's going to take off for second. Brewer's going to slide in easily. As there was no throw. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Benoit as he now is on second and third. The 2-1. Fouled back. 2-2. Benoit steps back in and draws something on the plate with the head of his bat. As Hinkey shakes the first sign. Now comes set. It's going to be ball 3 high Fill it up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the third inning, where the Eagles have pulled within 1, have been on second and third. Benoit at the plate. The 3-2. Strike 3 taken at the knees. So Benoit takes a seat for the second out, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Levi Green. Green had an RBI double in the last inning. Out to right center field. The young man's able to repeat that. Eagles will take the lead in this ball game. We'll just settle for something in play. First pitch from Hinkie is going to float in high, ball 1. Hinkie's velocity is about the same as Holly's, somewhere in the high 60s maybe. Could be low 70s. 1-0 is a fastball. Evens it up, 1-1. As Green bats with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. New Diana trails 5-4, but have 2 men in scoring position. The 1-1. Fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now on Green. Green steps back in. The 1-2. High, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Misses high and away, ball 3. Hinkie in danger of loading the bases here if he issues the free pass. I'm sure Green would rather have a hit. The 3-2. Misses way high. Ball's going to hit the backstop and bounce back, so Sherman's not going to be able to advance, but the bases will be loaded. That'll take us back to the top of the lineup as Hayden Thomas will come to the plate. Thomas reached on an error and scored a run his first time. His last time went down on strikes. Bats here with the bases loaded. Bottom of the third inning. Eagles trail by 1. The ball's going to be popped over into foul territory just off the first base dugout. No balls, 1 strike. The 0-1. Curveball outside. Catcher does a good job to get over in front of it to even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Thomas takes a deep breath, steps in. Thomas was Tuesday night's hero with the walk-off bunt to seal the victory against Harmony 7-6. As he lines that one down the third baseline. Hit well, but also well foul. Hinkie ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Hinkie comes set. Slide step. Slow breaking ball. It's going to miss off the outside corner to even it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hinkie not able to he's not very consistent with the off-speed stuff, so you can certainly sit fastball, as the Eagles have demonstrated this inning. The 2-2. Strike 3 looked at the knees. So that'll retire the side, but not before the Eagles pull within 1, courtesy of 4 base hits and 3 runs. 3 men left. Going to the top of the 4th, your score. Bridgeport 5, New Diana 4. top of the fourth inning, where Ivan Benoit will remain on the mound for the Eagles. Leading it off for Bridgeport, it's going to be their catcher, Damon, as he's going to hit that line down the third baseline. It's going to be fair. Home plate umpire signals fair, so it'll be a leadoff double as the throw is going to come in to third base. So Damon took that first Benoit offering and just launched it down the line. Very close to the line. Umpire had the best view of it, we think. As the gusts are picking up here in Crandall, if that's possible. That'll bring the pitcher in DH, Slade Hinkey, to the plate. Hinkey doubled his last time, has also walked. First pitch from Benoit is going to be lined out into left field. Green's going to move over to cut it off, but not before the courtesy runner for Damon's going to score. And the Bulls immediately get one back here in the top of the fourth, as Slade Hinkey helps himself with an RBI single. We'll have a courtesy runner for the pitcher. Looks like the courtesy runner is going to be number 15, Jarrett Schurter. Nobody out, top four. New Diana trails 6-4. The Bulls have pushed one across. That one's going to be bounce into Bogue. 1-0. Benoit fires over to first. Ready for the 1-0. Cut on and missed. It'll even it up, 1 ball and a strike. The 1-1. In the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1. Cut on and missed. 2-2. Yachty fastball, Benoit fastball. The bottom is just dropping out of it. The Bulls hitters are swinging right over the top of it. It's the 2-2. Just gets a piece. As Carson Green fouls it back. Green's 0 for 1 with a walk. Just went down looking. Cut on and miss. Strike 3. So Benoit sets Green down for the first out of the inning, and up will be Kason Green, center fielder. It's 1 for 2 with a single, scored a run, is also struck out. 1 of 4 Benoit strikeout victims so far, as that ball is going to be lifted out into center field, fall in front of Logan Simmons for a 1-out single. And the Bulls will have runners on first and second with their third baseman, Nick Lauren, coming up. Lauren reached on a fielder's choice his first time, and also lined out to Newland to end the bottom of the second. First pitch from Benoit is going to be just flared down the first base line. Foul. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out. Top 4, New Diana trails 6-4. Benoit is 0-1. It's cut on and missed for strike 2. The 0-2. Inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. It's going to be skied at the center field. Simmons moving over to right center field. It's actually going to go over his glove. Might have a play at third as Sherman comes up throwing, but it's well up the line. Simmons got there in time to make the catch. It looked like he just overran the ball a little bit, or I'm sure the wind had something to do with it. It'll technically go down as a single. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Craig Anderson. Anderson singled and scored a run back in the second and went down on strikes last inning. Bats here with the bases loaded now as he cuts and misses at that Benoit offering. 0-1. Bridgeport hasn't hit the ball exceptionally well, but they have certainly found the holes. Cut on and missed for strike 2. 0-2 quickly. As we're going to have a balk call on Benoit. Says he didn't come set. So, little argument from the Eagle dugout, but everybody will move up 9 feet, and the Bulls lead 7-4. As Benoit sets Anderson down, his second strikeout of the inning. So with 2 outs, it's going to bring up the number 9 man, second baseman, to Mason McCormick. We'll bat with runners on second and third as he cuts and misses at that Benoit fastball. 0-1. Bulls have got 2 back. Lead the Eagles 7-4 here in the top of the fourth. As Benoit misses 1-1. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cut on and miss, strike 3. So that'll set the Bulls down in the top of the fourth, but not before they score. 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 men left. Going to the bottom of the fourth, your score, New Diana 4, Bridgeport 7. Logan Simmons, Eagles center fielder, will lead us off here in the bottom of the fourth inning as New Diana trails 7-4 against the Bridgeport Bulls. Do have a new pitcher on the mound as he starts Simmons on the outside corner and low for a strike. 0-1. New pitcher is number 10, Ephraim Dunavant. Dunavant was the shortstop for the Bulls, as that one's going to brush Simmons back to even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Final line on Slade Hinkie. Young man threw 1 inning, 37 pitches, faced 8 Eagle hitters, 2 Ks, 1 walk, 4 hits, 3 runs, all of which were earned as Simmons cuts and misses, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Simmons is 0 for 2, is grounded out to the third baseman and also flown out to center field as last time. Going to get the Eagles started here, down 3. As that breaking ball is going to remain high, 2-2. The 2-2 spiked in the dirt, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 3-2 from Dunavant. It's going to be popped. Just back here by the on-deck circle. Catcher's going to miss it. As the ball was coming here on the net, there's a net here at Crandall High School that separates the fans from the field. And here at Crandall, we're also elevated up off the field by about, I'd say, 4 feet. That ball came just a couple of feet away from the fence there. Catcher Damon wasn't able to make the grab. So Simmons has new life here. The 3-2. Cut on, fouled off the chest protector of the umpire. We'll reset and do it again. Three balls, 2 strikes. Simmons tries to get on base to get the Eagles started here in the bottom of the 4th. Down 7-4. Going to be flown out to center field. Appears to be deep. Center fielder moves over. It's going to make a juggling catch for the first out of the inning, just before the warning track out there by the center field fence. So with 1 out, Jacob Newland will come up. Newland's 1 for 2. Singled back in the first and grounded out to the shortstop to start the top of the third. The bottom of the third. Third baseman plays well off the line at third. As Newland looks at that off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-1. The 0-1. That's going to be lined out into left field. Will drop for a 1-out single for Jacob Newland. Newland now 2 for 3 on the day. That'll bring up the Eagle third baseman, Austin Kearns. Kearns had a big fly his last at bat. 3rd home run of the season. Part of the Eagle 3-run third. It's going to be ball 1 low. 1-0. The 1-0. Low and away, 2-0. As Kearns is ahead in the count here. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out. Dunavant fires, cut on and missed. 2 balls and a strike. Two, 1. going to be another breaking ball in the dirt, 3-1. Donovan comes set, delivers the 3-1. Fastball cut on and missed. That'll fill it up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Called him third baseman earlier. Austin's playing shortstop for us today. The junior shortstop. Newland bounces real big to second. Bounces back. That's going to be ball 4. Taken just high. Kern's able to check his swing. That'll send Newland down to second and bring up Elliott Foreman. Foreman is 2 for 2 on the day with a single and a double. Also scored a run. Bats here in the bottom of the 4th. 1 out. 7-4 ball game as the Bulls lead the Eagles. First pitch is going to be hammered into the gap out into left center field. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Newland will score easily. Throw's going to come in. Kearns is going to be held up at third. As Foreman has his 3rd hit, 2nd double, and 2nd RBI of the day. First baseman is absolutely on fire. As the Eagles now trail 7-5. Foreman jumped on that belt-high first pitch fastball and smoked it out into the left center field gap. That'll bring up Cole Sherman. Sherman's 1 for 2, singled, stole a base, and scored a run his last at bat. So he takes a breaking ball in there for ball 1. Strike 1. Good quality take there by Cole. Not a lot he could do with that. The 0-1. It's going to be another bender that misses on the inside corner. That'll even it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. As the Eagles have the tying run on base for the 2nd consecutive inning. So they have runners on 2nd and 3rd. Fastball is going to be hit past the 3rd baseman, out into left field. Kearns will score easily. Foreman will stop at 3rd. As Sherman joins the party with an RBI single. Foreman scores his 2nd run. Kearns scores his 2nd run of the day. Peyton Brewer will step up. Brewer's 2 for 2, has an RBI single and a stolen base. Also scored a run. Bats here with runners on the corners. 1 out. Eagles trail 7-6 in the bottom of the 4th. Brewer first pitch swinging. It's going to be hit out into left field. Foreman's tagging. Right fielder's moving in. Foreman fakes coming home as the throw comes right into home plate. So the Eagles still looking for that critical 2-out hit as Ivan Benoit will step in. Bottom of the 4th, score 7-6, Bridgeport. Eagles have runners on the corners, Benoit at the plate. Cuts and misses it, fastball, 0-1. Benoit's 0 for 2 is grounded out to second base and also went down on strikes. As Coach Martinez relays his signs. We're going to have a pickoff attempt over at first, but Sherman's back in plenty of time. The 0-1. It's going to be fouled just over the third base dugout. No balls, 2 strikes on Benoit. Donovan comes set, ready to deliver the 0-2. Sherman takes off. Ball's going to miss outside. No throw. As Sherman will steal that base. Standing up. Tying run 90 feet away. 1 ball, 2 strikes is your count on Benoit. It's going to be hit out to the second baseman. Second baseman bobbles it. Will reach on the error, and the run will score. Coach Martinez has a couple of words for Benoit as he jogged out of the box. But able to make it to first base as it's the second error committed by the second baseman. As Foreman scores for the second time, and we're all tied at 7 here on the bottom of the 4th. So we'll have a courtesy runner. Landon Holly will come and run for Benoit. Oh, excuse me, Trent Pepper, apologies. First pitch to Green is a breaking ball as Pepper will make his way down to second base. One ball, no strikes on Levi Green. Green is 1 for 1 with an RBI double and a walk. Been left stranded both times. As he's going to fly that ball down the third baseline. Third baseman giving chase, turns around. Shortstop comes over, not able to make the play in foul territory. As this wind is really wreaking havoc on those fly balls. Apologies, no balls and 2 strikes as the umpire corrects the scoreboard. No balls, 2 strikes, Green at the plate, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Eagles have tied it up with 3 this inning. We're all square at 7, threatening with runners on second and third. Donovan's going to miss high with that off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So the Eagles have put together 3 hits this inning, a couple of singles and a double. And are ahead courtesy of the error of the second baseman from Bridgeport. Going to be another off-speed pitch. Curveball trying to float it in there, but comes in high. A lot of the Bridgeport faithful need to remember it's where the ball crosses the plate, not where the catcher catches the baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom 4. Fastball misses. That's 3 consecutive balls from Donovan as he's trying to paint that outside corner and has missed all 3 times. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The freshman, Levi Green, at the plate. The 3-2. Foul tipped off the catcher's mask. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat for Green. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Donovan kicks and fires. Green fouls it back. Donovan looks in for a sign. Now comes set. The 3-2. Misses. Ball 4. Excellent at bat by the freshman there, as that's going to load the bases. Take us back to the top of the lineup with Hayden Thomas. Thomas has reached on an error and struck out twice. Bats here with the bases loaded. Tie ball game, bottom of the 4th. 7 apiece. First pitch from Donovan. It's going to be cut on and missed, strike 1. Thomas is the 9th man to bat this inning, as the Eagles have loaded him up for the 2nd consecutive inning. The 0-1. It's going to be an off-speed pitch low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Another off-speed pitch. Misses low. Same spot. 2 balls and a strike now as Thomas fights to stay ahead in the count. The 2-1. Fastball is going to be slow roller out to third base. Third baseman fields it. It's going to fire over to second for the out. That'll force Green out to end the inning. But not before the Eagles do score 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, 3 men left. Going to the top of the 5th inning. We got a new ball game here in Crandall. Your score, New Diana 7, Bridgeport 7. Top of the 5th inning, it's going to be led off by the leadoff man for the Bulls, right fielder Siler Green. Benoit's first pitch to Green's going to be lifted over into foul territory. Foreman moves back. Does make the grab. That wind pushed it just back over his head, but he was able to dive and actually make the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out. As we've said, the fly balls are no gimme today. As that's going to bring up the pitcher, Ephraim Dunovan. Dunovan's 0 for 3, went down on strikes his first time, reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run, and also grounded out to short. Benoit starts him 1-0. And Nubber's going to go over to the first base side on deck circle. Even the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Actually hits the corner of the plate and will bounce up and over Bogan, the umpire, and go back to the screen. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1. Misses inside. 3 balls and a strike on Dunovan. Three-1. Cut on and missed. So Benoit's moved to a full count. The 3-2. It's going to be lifted over the second baseman's head out into shallow center field as Sherman will cut it off over there. Shallow right center field. Oh, 1 out. Dunovan has his first hit of the ball game. That'll bring up the catcher, Damon Pacheco. I bet it's Pacheco. We're going with Pacheco. Damon is 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. has had the hot bat for the Bridgeport Bulls. It's Benoit misses low for ball one, 1-0. The 1-0 is going to skip past Bo, go back to the screen. So that'll allow Donovan to get down to second base. It's going to be ball three low. So 3 balls, no strikes on Damon. Three balls, no strikes, 1 out. Top 5. Bulls with a man in scoring position as Benoit walks Damon on 4 straight pitches. We'll have a courtesy runner come out and run for the catcher. Well, the Bulls will have runners on first and second with 1 out. Here in the top of the 5th. Eagles just tied it up with 3 in the bottom half of the 4th to make it 7-all. As Hinkie steps in, takes the ball low, 1-0. Hinkie's also 2 for 2, has a single and a double. The 1-0. It's going to be fouled just behind the stands here. Crandall High School, even the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Hinkie just gets a piece again, fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. The 1-2. It's going to be a ground ball past Austin Kearns at short. Green's going to cut it off, but the Bulls are going to score one as the throw's going to come into third base. Not in time as the ball's going to get past Newland, but not far enough to do any damage as the runner will move to second on the throw. So Hinkie has his 3rd hit of the day as the Bridgeport Bulls have retaken the leads 8-7. As that first pitch is cut on and missed by Carson Green, 0-1. Green's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. So he takes ball 1 low. 1-1 now with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Eagles trail again, 8-7. Ball's going to be lined out to center field. That's going to be deep enough. Simmons makes the grab, fires it in. Will be cut by Kearns at second base. And the Bulls lead 9-7. As Hinkie will remain at second base. 2 outs now as the center fielder, Kason Green, will come up. Green's 2 for 3, has 2 singles and a strikeout, also scored a run. We'll bat here with a runner on second base. Hinkie out there at second base. As Benoit misses inside, ball 1. That's cut on and missed. Even the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. On the outside corner for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. As the Eagle defense is pretty much straight away and deep with 2 outs. Cut on and missed for strike 3. Benoit sets Green down for the 2nd time today and the 3rd out of the top of the 5th. But not before the Bulls do get back 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 man left. Going to the bottom of the fifth, your score, Bridgeport 9, New Diana 7. Bottom of the fifth inning be led off by Logan Simmons. Simmons is 0 for 3. He's flown out to center field a couple of times and also grounded out hard to the third baseman. Eagles trail 9-7 as Donovan starts. Simmons with a fastball high for ball 1, 1-0. That's a fastball at the knees to even it up. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. Going to be a curveball called to strike on the inside corner. 1-2 is now your count on Simmons. The 1-2. Low for ball 2. Good take there by Simmons. He followed the ball all the way in. The 2-2. It's going to be skied out to left field. Left fielder's moving back. It's going to be over his head. It's gone for a home run. Logan Simmons brings the Eagles within 1 with a Jimmy Jack over the left field fence. Second home run for the Eagles today. The first one was by Austin Kearns. Simmons takes his hat off and daps up his teammates. So after the leadoff home run, that'll bring Jacob Newland up. Newland's 2 for 2, a couple of singles, scored a run his last inning. Takes an off-speed pitch high. Ball 1, 1-0. If you can put a big good swing on it. Ball can travel today with this wind. 1-0 strike right down the middle. 1-1. The 1-1. Taken high for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1. It's going to be lined out into right field. That's going to get past the right fielder. It's going to go to the fence. Newland rounds first, headed into second. Throw's going to come in. Newland's on his horse. He's going to get all the way to third base with a triple. Good job of base running there by Newland as that ball went all the way down into the corner, into the right field corner. So the Eagles will have the tying run 90 feet away here in the bottom of the fifth. As Austin Kearns will step in. Kearns is 1 for 2. Has 1 home run, scored 2 runs, also has a walk. First pitch from Donovan's taken low for ball 1, 1-0. So the Eagle Bats have battled back. Taking high, ball 2, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Eagles trail 9-8. Logan Simmons led us off in the bottom half of this inning with a home run. Jacob Newland followed with a triple. And Austin Kearns takes ball 3, 3-0. Donovan comes set. Fires low. It's going to go to the screen. Newland's coming home. That's going to score the tying run on the pass ball by the catcher. As Austin Kearns takes his second consecutive free pass. We're going to have a visit from the Bridgeport coach. As the Eagle first baseman, Elliott Foreman, will step in. Foreman's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and 1 single. Five total bases so far for Foreman. As we will have a pitching change, we'll take a short break here in the bottom of the fifth. Nobody out. Eagles have a runner on first. Elliott Foreman at the plate. Score all tied at 9. Second baseman Mason McCormick will come in to pitch. Take over for Ephraim Donovan. Inherits a runner on first base. In a 9-9 ball game here in the bottom of the fifth as Foreman takes high. Ball 1. The 1-0. High for ball 2. 2-0. So now you're counting on Foreman. As we mentioned before, Foreman swinging a hot stick today, 3 for 3, 2 doubles, and a single. Also scored 2 runs, a couple of RBIs. So that's going to be a 3-0 count now on Foreman. So we'll force McCormick to throw a strike. So that's going to catch the inside corner. 3 balls and a strike now on Foreman. As the shortstop swing very close to the bag at second. Third baseman's in on the grass. So that's going to be called to strike again at the knees. 3-2. As McCormick's filled it up here on Foreman. The 3-2. Cut on and missed for strike 3. So that'll set Foreman down for the first out of the inning and bring up Cole Sherman. Sherman's 2 for 3, a couple of singles. Also has an RBI and a stolen base. Bats here with a runner on first base. Bottom of the 5th, tie ball game, 9-9. As Kearns bounces to second. Sherman's going to offer at that off-speed pitch. Swings and misses, 0-1. The 0-1. That's going to be fouled back here behind the stands. 0-2. McCormick checks Kearns at first. The 0-2. It's going to miss. I'll go wild pitch, be all the way back to the screen as the catcher stabbed at it but bounced over his glove. So Sherman will have a man in scoring position here with less than 2 outs. Try to get a way to get him over to third base. It's the go-ahead, represents a go-ahead run for the Eagles. Cut on and miss, strike 3. So after back-to-back strikeouts, it's going to bring the DH Peyton Brewer to the plate. Brewer's 2 for 3. A couple of singles, RBI, stolen base, scored a run back in the second, and also flown out to left field. Bats here with 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Scores all tied at 9. Comic's first pitch. It's going to drop in there for strike 1. The 0-1. Fastball hit out to center field. Center fielder moves over. It's going to be over his head. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Eagles are going to take the lead on the 2-out RBI by Peyton Brewer. That's Brewer's 3rd hit of the ball game. And the Eagles are into double digits, lead 10-9 as Kearns comes around to score his 3rd run of the ball game. That'll bring up the left-hander Ivan Benoit. Benoit reached on an error his last time, 0 for 3 on the day. See if he can trade places with Brewer out there at second base. Cuts and swings, fouls that one back. 0-1. There are 3 Eagles in the lineup today that have 3 hits apiece. The 0-1. It's going to be a floater in their high, ball 1. It'll even it up, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. It's going to be ball 2 outside, 2-1. As the Eagles have scored at least 1 run in every inning and a crooked number in the last 3. As Benoit's going to ground that one right back up the middle for a 2-out single. Brewer's coming home. Throw's going to be cut off behind home plate, and the Eagles now lead 11-9. as Benoit is on with an RBI single. And then I'll bring up left fielder Levi Green. Green's 1 for 1, has an RBI double and a couple of walks. Bats here in the bottom of the fifth. Eagles lead 11-9. Runner on first. As Green takes high, ball one. The 1-0. It's going to be a strike right down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike. McCormick with the 1-1. Cut on and miss, strike 2. 1-2. As Green collects himself and steps back into the box. The 1-2. Well outside, ball 2. Even it up, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom 5. That's going to bounce in there. Catcher got in front, so that'll be 3 balls and 2 strikes. And with 2 outs, we'll have to see if Benoit is on the move with the pitch. The 3-2, Benoit takes off. It's going to be strike 3 looked at, as that'll set Green down to retire the side. But the Eagles do take the lead, score 3 runs on 4 hits. So going to the top of the 6th inning, New Diana leads Bridgeport 11-9. As we move to the top of the 6th inning, have a new pitcher on the mound for New Diana. It's going to be number 13, Cannon Williford. Williford will come in relief of Benoit. As the final line on Ephraim Dunavant, the Bulls hurler that was relieved in the bottom half of the 5th, is 50 pitches. 1 inning pitched, faced 12 Eagle hitters, no Ks, 3 walks, 5 hits, and the Eagles touched him up for 7 runs, 6 of which were earned. As Williford starts Nick Larn off with a strike, 0-1. That's going to miss, even the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1's cut on and missed, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Larn is 1 for 3 on the day as a singles this last time. It's also reached on a fielder's choice, and it's going to hit just a little tapper down the first baseline. It will roll foul. So it'll be 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lauren. Lauren will be followed by Anderson, then McCormick for the Bulls. As they bat here in the top of the 6th inning, New Diana took the lead after scoring 4 runs in the bottom half of the 5th. Now lead the Bulls 11-9 for their first lead of the ball game. The 1-2. Strike 3 right down the middle, looked at. Good pitch there by Williford to retire Lauren for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the Bridgeport first baseman. Apologies, it's going to be number 2. We're going to have a pinch hitter. Be number 2, Tyler Anglin will bat for Anderson. Anglin has just pitched run to this point. Williford starts him with the ball low, 1-0. The 1-0. Ball 2 low. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Top 6. That's cut on and missed. Strike 1. 2-1. That's strike 2 at the knees. Williford evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch to Anglin. It's cut on and missed in the dirt. Bloke blocks it, jumps out in front of the plate, and fires down to Foreman to complete the strikeout. So 2 up, 2 down here for Williford in the top of the 6th. That'll bring up the pitcher, Mason McCormick. McCormick is 2 for 3, a couple of singles and a strikeout. It's been left stranded and also was caught stealing. Bats here with 2 outs. First pitch swinging, fouls it back. 0-1. The 0-1. Ball low, 1-1. As the pitch is going to handcuff McCormick, and he's going to just get a piece of it and foul it back to the on-deck circle. So Williford, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Looking to set the Bulls down 3 up, 3 down for the first time today. That's going to be a curveball in there for strike 3. Cannon Williford steps up and strikes out the side. As the Eagles will go to bat in the bottom of the 6th. And they lead the Bridgeport Bulls 11-9. Mason McCormick is finishing his warm-up pitches here in the bottom of the 6th inning. New Diana leads Bridgeport 11-9. Been a bit of a tough game for Eagle pitching as Bridgeport has put the bat on the baseball and hit a few flares and a few hard shots. But the Eagles have battled back. to take the lead. Newtown will be led off by their second baseman, Hayden Thomas. Thomas is 0 for 4, has reached on an error and also scored a run. Looking to get the Eagles started here. Score a few insurance runs. He'll, of course, be followed by Simmons and Newland. As Thomas takes a deep breath, adjusts his batting helmet, and steps in. McCormick delivers his first pitch. It's an off-speed pitch, misses low, ball 1. The 1-0. 2-0. Three-0 is going to go back to the screen. So Thomas will keep the bat on the shoulder here, I would imagine, trying to get the Eagles get their leadoff man on. The 3-0. Taken high for ball 4. So McCormick walks Thomas on 4 straight pitches. That's going to bring up Logan Simmons. Simmons is 1 for 4, had a solo shot home run to lead off the bottom of the 5th. As Simmons looks down to get his signs from Coach Martinez. Steps in the box. First pitch from McCormick. It's going to be inside for ball 1, 1-0. Been 20 runs scored between the two teams so far today. As Simmons is going to take right at the letters, called a strike. It's going to even it up, 1-1. As Thomas takes off. Simmons turns on that. It's going to be well fouled down the third baseline. So it'll be 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Thomas will retreat back to first base. Simmons steps in. The 1-2. It's going to be a curveball, misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The third baseman plays even. Now he's in on the grass at third. Middle infield's a double play depth. That ball's going to go back to the screen, so that'll send Thomas down to second easily. And be a full count on Logan Simmons. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The 3-2. It's going to be called strike 3. That ball was well below the knee. Definitely ball 4, but not in the eyes of the umpire, as that'll set Simmons down. For the first out of the inning, it'll bring up Jacob Newland. Newland's 3 for 4 today, has a couple of singles and a triple. He's also scored a couple of runs. Bats here with Thomas out at second base with the leadoff walk. McCormick starts Newland with a breaking ball over the middle of the plate, 0-1. As McCormick comes set. The 0-1. It's going to be a breaking ball. Catcher does just enough to stop it there at home plate, so that's going to keep Thomas at second base. And even the count on Newland. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, bottom of the 6th. Eagles lead 11-9. Newland takes a fastball. At the letters, called a ball. Seemed to be almost the same pitch that was strike 2 on Simmons. The 2-1. Newland's going to lift that one out into right center field. Center fielder is going to make the grab, made a running catch. Great catch by the center fielder as he caught it back on the warning track. Newland about 10 feet away from having the third home run of the ball game. But as it is, Thomas tags up and moves to third base on the fly out. And that'll bring up Austin Kearns. Kearns is 1 for 2 as a home run, 2 walks, and also scored 3 runs today as they check to see if Thomas left early, and much to Bridgeport's dismay, he did not. McCormick starts Kearns with a breaking ball in there for strike 1, 0-1. The 0-1. Another breaking ball. That one's definitely 6 inches off the outside corner, but called a strike by the umpire. I think the wind may be getting to him a little bit, maybe getting a little chilly. We've seen an expansion of the strike zone this half inning. As that curveball is going to be hit down to the third baseman, he's going to bobble it. He tries to fire it over. Kearns is going to be safe with the infield single. And the Eagles will lead 12-9 on the RBI by Kearns. So Kearns will be our runner on first, and Elliott Foreman will step up. Foreman's 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a single. Scored a couple of runs. So we have a pickoff attempt. Kearns is back in plenty of time. Two outs, bottom 6. That ball's going to be smashed. That's a no-doubter. That's going to be the third home run of the ball game as Elliott Foreman has a 2-run round tripper. And the Eagles will lead 14-9. McCormick floated one of those fastballs in there about belt high, and Foreman's absolutely smashed it over the left field fence. As the Eagles have hit their third home run of the ball game. Doubled their home run output for the season this game. And they lead Bridgeport 14-9 as Cole Sherman steps in. Sherman takes the ball low, 1-0. The 1-0. Sherman flies that ball out to center field. Center fielder moves in, makes the grab for the final out of the inning. But the Eagles put another crooked number up, scoring 3 runs on 1 hit, 2 out, 2 RBI home run by Elliott Foreman. We'll move to the top of the 7th inning. Eagles need 3 outs to finish the ball game. They lead 14-9. As we move to the bottom of the 7th inning, your New Diana Eagles have come back as the Bats have found their pop, lead the Bridgeport Bulls 14-9. Ken Williford will come back out. Not in a save situation now as the Eagles lead by 5. But Williford was able to strike out the side, struck out all 3 Bulls in the top half of the sixth to set them down for the first time, 1-2-3 all game. Williford will face the top of the lineup here for Bridgeport as he starts Siler Green off of the ball low. 1-0. That's going to be a ground ball. Second baseman Hayden Thomas has it. Fires to first for the out. One down. Shortstop Efren Dunavant will bat now. Dunavant's 1 for 4 on the day. Bats with nobody on. 1 out. Top 7, Eagles up by 5. Good breaking ball, catches the outside corner there by Williford. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1. Fastball just misses. 1-1. It's going to be a slow roller. Newland charges from third. It's going to bobble the baseball. Dunavant will be safe. It'll be E5. As if he'd have fielded it cleanly, that would have been an out. So with 1 out, it's going to bring up Damon. Damon's 2 for 2. 2 walks also in the ball game. He's reached base all 4 times so far. As he takes a fastball high, ball 1. The 1-0. Fastball. As Damon checks his swing, umpire grants the fastball over the inner half. 1 ball, 1 strike. As Williford checks Donovan over at first. Slide step, fires low. Good block by Bogue. 2-1. The 2-1. Strike 2 at the knees. That'll even it up. 2-2. I think the wind's getting to me a little bit. As Damon calls time, umpire grants it. Williford resets. Checks the runner at first, comes set. The 2-2. It's going to be a slow roller just over the glove of Williford. It's going to be a quick throw over to Foreman. It's going to bounce, get past him. They're going to send Donovan around to score as the ball's going to roll all the way near the fence. As I said earlier, we've got a lot of foul territory here at Bridgeport. So the Bulls will now be in double digits as Thomas tried to make a running throw on that and ended up spiking just before it got to Foreman and rolled into foul territory. So I think it'll officially go down as an infield single, and then the run will score on the air. So with 1 out, that'll bring up pinch hitter. Looks like number 13. Nope. 15, sorry. Be a left-handed hitter. Jarrett Schurter. As he whiffs at that first pitch. Fastball from Williford. The 0-1. It's going to be lined over Newland's head, out into left field. Green's going to move over to field it to hold the runner at third. And the Bulls will have runners at the corners. Williford's made the pitches. This has been let down by a couple of errors by his defense. That'll bring up the left fielder, Carson Green. Green's 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts. Also flew out to center field his last time for a sac fly. As Williford misses off the inside corner, 1-0. As Bridgeport bats here in the top of the 7th. Eagles lead 14-10, have one out, men at the corners. As Williford fires over to Foreman. Schroeder's back in time. As Williford misses outside, 2-0. Going to be a strike called at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. The umpire gave the Bulls a little dose of what they experienced last inning. That'll be fouled back. Williford ties the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top 7. Trying to end the Bull threat. The 2-2. It's going to be lifted foul. Long look in here by Williford. Now comes set. The 2-2. Just gets a piece of it and fouls it back again. So the count will remain 2 balls, 2 strikes on Carson Green. The 2-2. Taken high. Ball 3. It's unfortunate. That's the same ball that was called a strike on Logan Simmons, just below the letters. The 3-2. Ball 4. That'll load them up. So that'll bring the tying run to the plate here with 1 out in the top of the 7th. As the infield will collect around their sophomore hurler. The meeting is done. Everybody retreats back to their position. Then I'll bring up number 5, Kason Green. Green's 2 for 2, couple of singles, couple of strikeouts. Cuts and misses at that first Williford offering, 0-1. The 0-1. It's going to be a ground ball. It's going to be caught by Austin Kearns, but it's going to be too deep in the hole, as that'll be an infield RBI single for Green. As Kearns did stop the baseball, not allowing it to roll out into left field and allow another run to score. So the bases will stay loaded. That'll bring up the third baseman, Nick Larn. Larn's 0 for 4 has reached on a fielder's choice, also lined out. 1 for 4. Has a single and a K. So he takes that pitch at the knees for strike 1, 0-1. As the Bulls now trail 14-11 here in the top of the 7th. Tying runs at third base. Tying run is at first base. As Larn steps out of the box, now steps back in. Williford with the 0-1. It's going to float a changeup in there. Ball 1. 1-1. The 1-1. It's going to be a ground ball to third baseman, Jacob Newland. He's going to fumble the baseball. We'll tag the bag in order to force the out. But that could have ended it right there. If Newland tags the bag and fires to first, the game's over. So the Bulls will have runners on first and second now with 2 outs. Tying run is at first base. Good night. Tying run is at first base. That's going to come in high. Ball 1. To Tyler Anglin England was a strikeout victim his last time. That's going to be a hard hit ground ball up the middle. Austin Kearns fields it, flips to Thomas for the force out at second. So that will be your ball game.